Everybody, it's Emily from Art Schooling, and I'm bringing you today my June book haul. I've been trying to hold off buying books this month because I bought so many the last 2 months that I was like, I needed to chill out a little. So I wasn't actually going to buy any books this month, but then, you know, I can't avoid going to the book outlet website apparently. So I bought some books. But, you know, only 7. So I'm going to just go through this box and show you what I got. So really the whole reason I ended up doing this at all this month was that they had Mistborn box set for a really good price. So I was like, I've been wanting to read Mistborn for forever. I've had the Mistborn box set in my cart on Amazon for like 3 or 4 months, and I just had been putting off buying it because I didn't really need it right now, and I didn't want to spend that much money, and then, you know, I kept talking myself out of it. But then they had it for a really good price on book outlet, so I threw that in my cart immediately, and then I thought, well, I have a coupon for $5 off and I spend $35, so I needed to put more books in my cart. Yeah, I see how this works. So I got the Mistborn trilogy, Brandon Sanderson, which I really don't know a ton about because I just don't want to know too much before I go into it. But I know it's obviously high fantasy, it's got a really interesting magic system, and it's Brandon Sanderson, who I've never read, but is supposed to be amazing, so that's all I need to know. So in addition to that, I was excited to buy Elizabeth I by Margaret George. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, I read Mary Queen of Scots like forever and ever ago, many years ago, and that's the book that kicked me off into my love affair with historical fiction and the Tudors and Tudor England and all of that. And so I've been trying to collect her books, and when I saw this one I got excited because Elizabeth, you know, I mean, the Tudors are just like one of my favorite things ever. I just finished reading Red Rising by Pierce Brown with the kids, and we really enjoyed it, and so I went ahead and grabbed Golden Sun because we want to continue the series, and I have no idea what happens in this book. I really don't want to know anything going into it, but I have some inklings based on the title and what happened at the end of the first book, so I'm excited to get into that. I also bought Aftermath by Ridian Brooke, and I'd never heard of this book before, but the premise just, I love reading about World War II. I'm a little bit obsessed. Tudors, World War II. I don't know why those two things. But when I saw the premise, this takes place immediately after the war, and it says in the, I'll just read you the little side piece here. It says, Hamburg, 1946, thousands remain displaced in what is now the British-occupied zone. Charged with overseeing the rebuilding of this devastated city and the denazification of its defeated people, Colonel Lewis Morgan requisitions a fine house on the banks of the Elbe, where he will be joined by his grieving wife Rachel and only remaining son Edmund. But rather than force its owners, a German widower and his traumatized daughter, to leave their home, Lewis insists that the two families live together. In this charged and claustrophobic atmosphere, all must confront their true selves as enmity and grief give way to passion and betrayal. Doesn't that sound awesome? I've not read too much about the aftermath of what happens, you know, after the war and, you know, having to rebuild after the destruction that's happened in Europe. I just thought this sounded really intriguing, and I'm excited to get into it. I also bought The Three-Bodied Problem by, I have no idea how you say that name. I have nothing. Shin Lu, maybe? I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. Anyway, this book I've heard so many people talk about. It's a science fiction novel that was written in China, and it's been translated into English, and it's supposed to be a really, like, just interesting, amazing science fiction novel from another culture, which it takes place during the Cultural Revolution in China, which I also am obsessed with China and Chinese history. So I was very interested to find out more about this book, and they had it for such a good price at Book Outlet that I went ahead and snapped it up. So I don't know when I'm going to get to it. It looks big and slightly intimidating, but I'm hoping that it's really good. And the last book I bought was The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. And this is another book I've only heard a little bit here and a little bit there about, but it just sounded so intriguing. It's something to do with, I believe, a man who has abducted these girls, and he kind of starts his own little cult with them, and they're locked in this house. They've never left the house since their abduction. And then he dies, and they have to like figure out what to do with themselves. And it just, I know there's a lot more to it than that, and it's supposed to be really weird and intriguing, and I was just very, like, I just am intrigued. I want to know more. And so I hope it's good. It's supposed to be weird, and I'm all about weird books, so I'm hoping it's really good. And I'm actually probably going to get into this really soon because I'm just so intrigued. I want to know. Those are the books that I bought in the month of June. Like I said, this was not very many, and I'm proud of myself. I hardly bought anything in June, so yay me, pat on the back. So hopefully I can continue that trend and not buy too many books in July, but you know, we're getting our new bookshelves put in a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna go crazy trying to fill them up. I just know it. What did you buy in the month of June? Have you bought any new books lately that you're really excited about? Please let me know down below in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye!